Good morning. This is Shabbat Chazak, because we finish the book of Vayikra, the third book of the Torah. And as we finish a book of the Torah, we say, we bless each other, Chazak, Chazak, Benit Chazek, strength, strength, and we should be strengthened. So, obviously, the context of the parasha has to be connected. So, the parasha Bechukotai means if you will walk on my statutes, on my laws, says Hashem. But Chakika also means to engrave. There is a story about the Lubavitcher Rebbe that two of his shluchim, two of his emissaries, came back with a very good report. They've been traveling around different cities, and they said that each place they went were like a sofer, a scribe that is looking at different books of the Torah and correcting the letters. If one letter is not perfect, they were putting the ink where it was missing and bringing the Sefer Torah that represents all of the Jewish people into a better level of holiness. Just like a sofer is supposed to go over the Torah to make sure that each letter is perfectly written and it's kosher, the same. They felt that they touched up all these Jews in isolated towns where there's no Jewish communities, and they brought them closer to Hashem. The Rebbe said, I like the concept, but a Jew is not like a letter written on Sefer Torah, because that's ink written on scroll. A Jew is like a letter on the tablets of the Ten Commandments that is engraved. What is the difference? Ink on parchment could be erased, could be separated, but an engraved letter is part of the stone, and the only way to get rid of that letter is to destroy the whole stone. It could be covered maybe with a little dirt, it could be not so clear, but the Aleph of Anochi, it's always there on the tablets. So every Jew is so connected to Hashem that you cannot say that the ink was removed. The letter is always there, like an engraved letter that will forever stay. So our parasha stresses this idea of the chukim, the laws that Hashem gave us, that are like engraved, that they become one with the material. A Jew, when he connects to Hashem, when he fulfills a mitzvah, connects to God, becomes one with God in a way that you cannot separate them anymore. So this is what requested from every Jew. When you learn Torah, it's not something that you read, interesting, let's move on. No. Should become a part of you like an engraved letter, that you cannot separate it. The Torah is you. And that's why Rashi explains this concept of what does it mean Bechukotai telechu sheyu amelim b'Torah, that the Jewish people have to make an effort in the Torah. It's not like in writing, the pen glides smoothly over the paper. No, we are engraving. When you engrave something, you connect in a way that can never be separated from you. This is the way to learn Torah. And the Rebbe explains in Likutei Torah that when a person makes the effort to learn Torah and to engrave it in his soul, he becomes Teileichu. Teileichu, as we say, means to walk, to move forward. You are constantly improving yourself, constantly moving forward, because the Torah is what powers you. It becomes part of you, and this is the nature of Torah, which is goodness that propels a person always forward. And you want, why? Because Torah is what connects us with God. we understand better God through Torah, and once we're connected with Him, we're constantly moving forward and forward. So this is the idea of learning, not in a superficial way, but engraving it, becoming one with it. Now, another explanation in Bechukotai Telechu, the Talmud says that God is saying, please follow my laws. What's the point of God saying, please do this? Because when He asks something, He also empowers us, gives us the strength to carry out what He's asking to do. So it's interesting that we know there is 3 types of laws in the Torah: Edut, Chukim, or Mishpatim. We will explain each one and why God is saying that the Chukim are what makes the person move forward, brings him really close to Hashem. So Mishpatim means laws. Every culture, every society has laws that make sense. For instance, do not steal. People came to the understanding that stealing is not a good idea. I want to protect my property, so I make a law that people should not steal, do not murder. All these laws, the Torah says, the Talmud says, we would have learned them from nature, like to be hardworking like the ants. And even in nature, there is certain logical laws that human could say, okay, this makes sense. I want to live this way. So without the Torah, we would have probably come to some of the mitzvot. Then comes Edut. Edut are also logical mitzvot that perhaps we wouldn't have come up to practice such a thing, but like Shabbat, makes sense to have a day of rest, but some people rest on Sunday, or Shavuot that is coming up. Other cultures have the 4th of July, that they commemorate an important event, and they celebrate. So it's something logical. Every society has this type of edut, which means a testimony, something that we're saying, a great event happened on the 4th of July, therefore we should celebrate. But then there is the Chukim. Chukim are laws that are irrational, that don't make sense to the human mind. So why do we do them? Only because God commanded us to do. For instance, shatnez, not to wear a garment that has a mixture of wool and linen together. And what the Torah is saying, if you really want to move forward, teileichu, walk, advance in life, you have to do not only do the mitzvot, the chukim, the ones that you don't understand, but all the mitzvot we should do because God commanded them, not because they make sense to me. This is we mentioned that on the class last night, that when I do a mitzvah because something makes sense to me, then am I serving God? I'm serving myself. If I don't steal because I understand that the respect of property is a good thing, I'm protecting my property by doing that. But if I don't steal because God said, and I want to fulfill His will, then I'm serving Hashem. And also the human mind could make terrible mistakes, like the Nazis in Shemam, that they thought a murder was justifiable. So we do all the mitzvot, even those who make sense, because God commanded them, not any other logical reason. If you want to understand benefits or the logic without the mitzvah, sure. Naaseh v'nishma. First, we do them because we accept God's will. And then we try to understand as much as we can. And that's why Hashem says, Im bechukotay tilechu, please walk on my statutes, on these laws that you don't understand. I assure you, I'm empowering you to go forward and to do all the mitzvot, will be successful, and the blessing of this Shabbat, chazak, when it chazak, strength, and will be strengthened, will be fulfilled, and will become one with Hashem through the Torah by learning and internalizing the Torah the way that God meant it to be, so we can be closer to Hashem and constantly move forward, going from strength to strength in our service of Hashem. Thank you very much for watching. Shabbat Shalom. Saturday night, 9 p.m., we'll study Pirkei Avot.